Whether the PPT is visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am, it's visible.
Now we start with the next part, that is the segmentation. Now, the company cannot think of catering to the demand of all of the consumers at a single time. People or the masses have diverse or different needs. The customers are too numerous and their requirements differ with reference to maybe their age, their income, the regional variations, geographic locations, educational levels, etc. So here, in this session, in this chapter, we will examine the levels of segmentation, the patterns of segmentation, the procedure for market segmentation, the basis for segmenting consumer as well as business markets, and the requirements for effective segmentation. The sellers distinguish the major market segments. They think of targeting one or more of those segments and develop offerings, products, or services and market them based upon their needs, their requirements. So instead of focusing on the marketing effort on the entire masses, the companies think of just targeting a pie or a small part of the population and satisfying them. That is the basic intention of having the market segmentation. It is an effort to increase the company's precision marketing. Now, if we take into consideration the levels of market segmentation, the starting point of any producer, any manufacturer starts with the mass marketing criteria. That is, if you have seen any of the offerings which enter into the market, the parent product, okay, is such wherein all of the customers are taken into account, are taken into consideration. So this is the mass marketing, where there is no customization or no special consideration is given to a particular mass or to a particular group. All of them, they are the target customers for the companies here. That's why we say it is mass marketing. So the focus of mass marketing is where the seller engages in mass production, mass distribution, and mass promotion of the offerings or the products for all the buyers. There is no differentiation strategy used here. Now, if you take an example of salts, the food grains, the milk, the bakery item, the fruits, all of them, they come into this category, where the company just relies on mass production and distribution of goods. Previously, we used to have mass marketing. The focus was on mass marketing. There was no scope as far as the customization was considered. But as the competitors started, more companies started entering the segments they entered the production lines, the competition increased. Slowly and steadily, it started moving towards the segment marketing. Now, even today, also many of the companies are there, which are based on this mass marketing aspect also. Now, if you consider a simple example like salt also, okay, but again, because of the competition, the companies are finding out new segments by giving some differentiation in the offering. So here the mass marketing creates the largest potential market, which helps in maintaining the economies of the scales, which ultimately lowers down the cost and leads to lower prices, or one can say higher margins, that is more margins. Ultimately, when the demand is more, when the demand for the product is more, it affects the economies of the scale as the economies are spread. So here, when we take the mass production into consideration, it becomes much more simpler and easier from the production point of view. Similarly, for distribution, maybe you can push most of the products through the single distributor. There is no need for differentiation. And as far as promotion is considered, it becomes easy to push the products in the market in mass marketing, because the total mass is the target segment or target group of customers here. So even for the advertising media or distribution channel, here one size fits all mantra is used. Some of them, they say that mass marketing is dying now because of the computation it's happening, but that's not the case also. Now coming to the segment marketing, now because of this competition, or because there are more number of players, one can think of segregating it into the segment marketing, the niches marketing, local area marketing, and also the individual marketing. Now, when we take into consideration the segment marketing, what is exactly segment marketing? A market segment consists of large identifiable group within a market with similar wants, similar purchasing power, a similar geographic location, same buying attitude, customer habits. All these are mapped where they are found to be on the same grounds. So here, when the company thinks of having the heterogeneously scattered market, huh, on the basis of different groups, they think of homogenizing this market. It is known as segment marketing. The people with the same wants, same preferences, same demographics and location come together. Okay, they are brought together or homogenized. So we say it's a segment marketing. Now, if you take the example of automobile company, one may think of having broad four segments, like a car buyers who are primarily seeking basic transportation. That is maybe we need convenience in or comfort. Just the primary objective is transportation. That may be one category. Second category may be high performance. That is a quality driven product. No doubt we need transportation, but we also are looking for high performance. That is other category. The third is, with the transportation quality, we also need luxury. And to add to this attribute, maybe ahead, transportation, high performance, luxury, plus we need safety. So here, when you start clubbing, the attributes, you go ahead with the customization. And here comes the part or the role of segment marketing, where the companies think of fulfilling or satisfying the need of the customers with reference to that attributes which are taken into account. So here one can say this segmentation is a approach. It's a midway between mass marketing and the individual marketing. So at one end is the mass marketing where all of the segment or all of the group frames the target group, while against this there is individual person or individual customer. And because of today digitization or internet penetration, because of the advent of technology or evolution in technology, it has become much more easier for the companies to go for customized marketing. So this mass marketing is a midway approach. It stands in between mass marketing and individual marketing. Now each segment's buyers, they are assumed to have similar wants, similar needs, but still we all know that as a humans, as individuals, we have our own approach, we have our own perception attitudes when we go for the purchasing. No two buyers are same or similar or alike. Each and every individual has their own set of preferences. Our likes, dislikes, they differ, and hence the importance of segmentation. Now here, the market offering consists of two parts, like one is the naked solution and the other is the options part. Now, first one consists of product and service elements that all segment members value. Okay, all of them, they need that offering or the product. Well, when it comes to options, maybe it is towards improving or increasing the value to the offering, which again carries an additional charge. Now here, with the differentiation options, making the customers available with the differentiation options and attaching the price with the extra value addition in the offering. Now here, even the customers welcome, because they also understand, or it is rather the job of the marketers to convince the customers that how the offering is different from the pool of offering which is offered to the entire masses. And that's why an additional charge, it includes the criteria of additional charge here. Extra amount is charged because there is some extra value addition apart from the masses. So when the company thinks of convincing the customers with reference to this attribute, the customer is convinced. But here the marginal difference, the customer should feel that there is marginal difference, a line of differentiation exists between both the offerings. Here, segment marketing offers many benefits over the mass marketing. The company can think of creating a more fine-tuned product or service offering and price it appropriately, which will serve the needs or the purpose of that particular target audience. Now here, with reference to the choice of distribution channels and communication channels, it becomes much more easier for the companies. The companies may face few fewer competitions, less competitors in that particular segment. Now here, if you consider the product or the offerings, when they are fine-tuned to meet the requirements of the customers. So building the gap or bridging the gap between the offering and the requirements becomes much more easier for the companies because it is catering to the needs of that particular segment. It understands what exactly is the requirement of their clients or customers, and accordingly it makes the necessary changes and offers the goods. As far as pricing strategy is considered, when the company thinks of having different segments, so here maybe when the customer thinks of high quality product, the prices are towards higher side. Even the customer knows this. If the customer just say for the basic product, okay, uh, maybe of average quality or affordable, rather we can say, then the pricing would be affordability would be one of the criteria here. So even for innovative products generation, this strategy becomes much more helpful for the companies to understand to which group it is catering and which group is left out. Now, if you take an example of the automobile industry, initially, even for the manufacturers, for the customers, basic was the transportation to serve the purpose of transportation and maybe status symbol. That is one of the aspect of having a car, that is automobile. Slowly and steadily, maybe people started looking out for more options available, and hence today if we see there are ekdam luxurious, there are luxurious offerings as well as mid segment cars are available. So here the company thinks of catering to the needs of the customers from the point of view of luxury, social status or social symbol, safety perspective, technology driven, that is high performance is focused, and the basic transportation. So based upon these attributes, the companies think of placing the offering by mapping the product and the customers with reference to satisfying of their needs. So here, when the company thinks of focusing on those customers, they will highlight it in their advertising or the promotional tools. What aspect they are highlighting? Now this becomes this highlighter, okay, is an indicator for the target group of customers here. So this is about a segment marketing. Now coming to the Nic marketing. Nic is a more narrowly defined group. Okay, a smaller market whose needs are not well served. Marketers identify niches by dividing a segment into sub segments, you can say. So here we have still a step to go ahead with the sub segments, or by defining a group which is seeking a distinctive mix of benefits. So here it is more, we can say, confined to a distinctive benefit. So here in this case, we do not have a large pool of customers here. The customers are very few as compared to maybe segment marketing or mass marketing. They have their own set of needs also. Now these segments are the segments are fairly much larger and attract several competitors. The niches are fairly very small and normally attract one or two uh, competitors. The prevalence of niche or even the micro niche marketing can be seen in the media also here. Now, the niche marketers presumably understand their customers' needs so well that the customers are willing to pay a premium price. Uh, if you take an example of a Ferrari, which gets a higher price for its cars, because loyal buyers feel no other automobile comes close to offering. So it was a niche, but today, if you see, again, there are many competitors for it. Uh, if you think of ice cream manufacturers, okay, uh, many of the ice cream manufacturers, they offer the offering into many flavors, many fruit based items or ice creams with different flavors, colors, etc. Now when you have the sugar free packaging, okay, so it means there are few customers who need that category of product. That is Nic Marketing. The characteristics uh, are like they have a distinct set of needs. They will pay a premium to the firm for the best satisfied their needs. The niche is not likely only to attract the competitors, but to gain the economies of the scales through specialization. Though the size is smaller, okay, but it has a tremendous revenue generation option as well as growth potential. Now I give you an example of ice cream manufacturers. If you think of sweet manufacturers, even they have this need where they have the premium price for the using some sugar free ingredients in the sweets, and they offer the goods at the premium price. Similarly, if you take the edible oils, okay, you have the cholesterol free like Sofola brand or maybe the organic products. Okay, these are all the niche products which serve or cater to the distinct needs of that particular segment where the products are placed at a higher price. You can take an example of a skincare products which comes into the this category or cosmetic industry where some specialized offering is offered with the premium price or higher price. Similarly, this is more feasible in service marketing also. If you take an example of the cosmetic services today, so here uh, there are few people who would be thinking about cosmetic surgeries. So this is niche marketing, where they have a narrowly defined uh, groups, and the service provider thinks of providing the services. Yeah. Now, moving ahead is the local marketing. Now, target marketing is leading to marketing programs being tailored to the needs and wants of the local customer groups. Now, trading areas, neighborhoods, even the individual stores come into this category of local marketing. Now, you might have observed that there are many local manufacturers with reference to that neighborhood or particular geographical location, wherein they are well known and they serve the markets on the local basis. Now, if you take banking services, so here banking services provides different mixes of banking services with reference to that branch, depending on the neighborhood, the demographics, and based upon the past study of the data. Now here, uh, when the people go for the local marketing, the very important aspect is to understand the needs of the local people there, those who are staying, because ultimately, whatever they demand has to be offered. So, here going for the national advertising is a wastage. Better you go for the national, local advertising or local intermediaries. Now, here, in case of local marketing, one may think of moving beyond the boundaries of local marketing, carrying the same brand image or brand name beyond the geographical areas or boundaries with reference to that local market. But it becomes popular with reference to that localized area or defined local market. Now here there is a possibility of brand's overall image dilution if the message and the product differs in different localities here. That's why they go for standardization. But for standardization, the manufacturer should maintain its quality. It has to be recognized as a local brand. Now here you can take most of the companies which come into the foods category, which start on the local basis, and as they expand, as they increase, they try to cross the boundaries by building brand reputation, by offering good quality products, maintaining the consistency of the offering. So here, competition will not affect the company unless and until people favor the manufacturer. Now here you can take a very good example is the uh, Chitre products. Okay, which started with the local marketing uh, by increasing the portfolio of the products. Okay, they started with the local marketing and slowly and steadily they entered towards the global marketing. Now here the product or the offerings are the same. The quality maintained is the same. So over the time, uh, it's been able to maintain its brand value. Similarly, if you take particular areas or localites where that particular product is manufactured, okay, they enter the other markets, the other geographical areas carrying the same pool of a brand. But here, maintaining standardization is of very much of importance. Specifically, when you can take an example of a chain of restaurants also here. Now, moving ahead with the local individual marketing. Now, the ultimate level of segmentation leads to segments of one, that is customized marketing or one-to-one marketing. Here, the tailor-made or tailor-made offerings or customized products is the focus as far as the individual marketing is considered. As a customers, we have our own individual demands, individual perceptions. Now, here, if you take an example of the banking industry, okay, or investment options which the banks gives, the financial sectors specifically, or the e-learning packages. So for the overall masses, they have a single product, but when it comes to individualization, they try to mold the offering according to need of the individuals. If there is a financial company and the customer wants to avail the loan, so here the company thinks of going for customization. If the company is selling the software package with reference to e-learning, okay, so here the company thinks of molding this package and taking into consideration the requirements. Similarly, we take into account the software. If the company is into the software marketing, it is selling the ERP package or ERP softwares. So they may have a particular package of software for the mass marketing, but it also has a customized approach by editing the items in the software package to meet to the demand of the customers. Many a times the customer says that this is my requirement. Only I do need this. I do not want much more. So here the manufacturer will think of editing for the sake of the customer and offer the products. Now, in today's competitive era, where most of the competitors are struggling to have the market share, the customized approach is increasing. Now, here, many of the products or services, specifically services, since the traditional day means since the traditional era, they are being into customized marketing. Like if you have a designer wears, okay, here it's the perception of the individual person that what would be the design chosen by that person. Accordingly, the person will think of having the clothes designed or the apparel designed. So it is customization, customized marketing. If you take the cosmetic industry, it is the customized marketing. If you take the healthcare industries, now according to the need of the patient only, the doctor thinks of moving ahead with the treatment. Specifically where the operative levels are considered in the healthcare sector, it is customized treatments. Similarly, if you go for tours and travels, it is customized marketing in today's era. Directly the service provider asks the customers, what are your requirements? Okay, this and this is my requirement. And then he quotes the price. Now here, whenever the customer goes for individualization, it becomes very easier for the marketers to convince the pricing strategies to these customers. And even the customer is convinced because the customer is asking for something specialized, which is apart from what the masses are asking. So here, as far as revenue generation or profits is considered, there is much scope for the marketers to earn higher revenues as compared to mass marketing. Since the manufacturer is taking the efforts to mold or edit the offering for the sake of single customer. Now, today's customer are taking more individual initiative in determining what and how to buy. Maybe they log on to the internet, they search for the information, they evaluate the products and service offers. Many a times they contact the companies also, and they have today, they can message, they can just give a call, they can chat. So the customer is much more aware and knowledgeable today about the offerings and the information. But still, the marketers try to influence the person in a new ways. They set up the toll-free numbers, they have the email addresses, so that the buyers can reach them with their queries, doubts, questions, if there are any feedback, suggestions, and companies take the cognizance of these things. They involve the customers. The customers are more engaged today in the product specification process. Now, this is about the levels of market segments. It depends upon the companies uh, where they want to start or initialize the process. Now, usually any company can enter into individual marketing, or they can go for mass marketing also, based upon the offering, the type of uh, demand for that offering. Now we are moving ahead with the basis of market segmentation. Now here, this is the basic foundation or the ground for the manufacturers to decide which type of segmentation they will inculcate, or they want to move ahead with which type of segmentation, whether they want to go for mass marketing, whether they want to go for target marketing, or individual marketing. Now, the first and foremost part is the geographic segmentation. These are the variables, basically the geographic, demographic, psychographic, and behavioral segmentation. You can say these are the foundations on which the uh, product is offered to the customers, or manufacturer thinks of including uh, the product in the portfolio of the company based upon these different attributes or characteristics here. Now, if we consider the geographic segmentation calls for dividing the markets into different geographical zones or areas based upon nations, states, regions, countries, cities, or neighborhoods. Each and every nation has their own cultural background. Each and every state has its own background. Even the regions have their own backgrounds. Cities are known for their specific attributes. So the company can operate in one or few geographical areas, or operate in all but pay attention to local variations. Even that is possible. Now here, how does this geographic segmentation affect the offerings or the product, and what are its impact on marketing? If we take into consideration if we take the cities, the regions, the first and foremost thing, if we take the natural climatic zones, which influence the demand for the offerings, basically. Now here, if we take area or country, city, which has a high rainfall, okay, or snowfall, maybe in the international markets, you have the snowfall. Naturally, there, the demand for those products to safeguard the customers themselves from this extreme climate, like snowfall or a cold or rain, they are in much more demand. Like you would like to have the winter clothing to keep themselves warm. Maybe you can have the hot beverages. So here there will be very less scope or no scope during that climatic zone for products like cold drinks or maybe ice creams. There would be more demand for hot beverages here in such extreme climatic conditions. Similarly, if the climate is too sunny or it's very hot, the people will try to have more of the cooling agents, more of the ice creams, more of the clothings which are very light weight. So demand for those products would be more. Naturally, when the company thinks of operating on the geographical backgrounds, they need to take these aspects into consideration when the companies think of forecasting the demand, basically. So these things are taken into consideration, and that's why we have the original variations. When a company is working on the international grounds, when it crosses the national boundaries, so here uh, there are more influences because the climatic nature of one region is totally different from other region, and it's going to impact the demand for that product or offering. So based upon these climatic needs, the company can think of having innovative offerings also. That's why we see that wherever there is a snowfall or maybe very cold climatic conditions are there, maybe the heaters are more in demand. Wherever there is heavy rainfall, the raincoats or the umbrellas are in more demand as people want to protect themselves. So based upon this, the company needs to think of having the strategies. Now, apart from this, uh, the cultural variations, different regions have different cultures. So based upon the cultural backgrounds, they enhance the demand for the particular product, and the marketers bank on these opportunities to penetrate the markets. We have our regional celebrations with the demarcation of the geographical areas. Though today, uh, that is not be the criteria, that won't be the criteria as far as the urbanization is considered. Most of the cities are becoming cosmopolitan now, where one cannot think of demarcating on the basis of cultural backgrounds, but still, uh, companies do think of promoting the offerings on the basis of geographical segmentation. And even these are focused in the promotional ads or promotional part of the companies. Now here, the next part is the demographic segmentation. Now, demographic segmentation relates to the division of markets based upon the groups on the variables like the age, the family size, the family cycle, the gender, income, occupation, education, religion, race, generation, nationality, social class. All this attribute comprises of demographic segmentation. These demographic variables are the most popular basis for distinguishing customer groups. Most of the companies, they take demographic segmentation into account while offering the products, while offering the. Now, today we stop here. In the next session, we will discuss this in detail. Any doubts? Hello?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
So we will continue in the next session. Today we will stop here.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.